Welcome to another episode of Rock's Garage. I'm Jason, and today we are going to be installing a kick plate on an E-Z-Go TXT golf cart, part number ACC-2001. Let's get started. Here are the tools that you're going to be using today to install your ACC-2001. First and foremost, safety glasses. We'd like to be safe here at Rock's Garage, protect the eyes, so you're going to need them for the long haul. You're also going to need a marker, a rivet gun, a drill stop, a 7/32 drill bit, and a drill gun. So before we get started, let's unpackage the ACC-2001. Inside, you're going to find that you have your kick plate and the supplied split rivets that we're going to need to mount this to your cart today. Okay, before we get started, there's one quick thing I want to point out with this kick plate. You'll notice that there's a sharp edge and a radius edge. The sharp edge goes towards the floor or down on the cart, where the radius edge goes towards the top or pointed up towards the seat. Okay, now let's get started in installing this on our E-Z-Go TXT golf cart. To get started with the install of this kick plate, we want to go ahead and get this thing in place to where we want it. We want it centered between the sill plates, and so it looks good. Be careful in setting it down here as to not to scratch your paint. It's something we don't want to kind of go back and touch up afterwards. So I think I got it pretty close there. Just want to double check. I'm going to get a visual inspection of it. Looks like we need to go to the passenger side a little bit. Move it down some. And that actually looks pretty good. The next step is we want to go ahead and be careful not to move it left or right. Get this thing set in behind the rubber mat if at all possible, and set down in there solid so you get a nice tight, clean fit against the bottom. Now that we have that done, we want to go ahead and mark our first hole. Using the Sharpie that I have here, we're going to go ahead and mark my side and just get this one started here real quick. All right, got a good mark there, yep. All right, we know where the center is. Go ahead and remove the plate, get that out of the way, so that way we can go ahead and get our first hole drilled. Okay, so now that we are ready to drill into the body of the cart, we want to do a couple things first. If you are working on an electric cart, please make sure it is in tow mode. Also, be sure that there's no wires behind where you're going to be drilling, or in the case if you're in the center of the body, there are no batteries there that you can drill into. That's one thing we do not want you to do. We cannot stress the level of importance enough. Please don't do that. That's why we're using this drill stop to mark how far we're going to be going into the body today. All right, now with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start the first hole. We got it marked. Know where it wants to go, and again, this is a 7/32 drill bit. Quick go ahead. All right. That's all we need. One quick hole. We're good. Now that we have that done, we want to go ahead and get the kick plate back in place, close to where we had it, so that way we can get the first rivet in. Again, like on this cart, try to get it behind the rubber mat as much as possible. We're pretty close, and that's it right there. Now we need to get the rivets, and we can get our first rivet in. We got the kick plate in place. Let's go ahead and slide the rivet into the hole. Make sure everything is tight up against it. Got our gun in. There's our first one. Now we want to move to the passenger side of the cart, and we're going to go ahead and mark the hole and drill that as well. All right, now we're ready to drill the second hole. We want to come over to the passenger side as we've done. Make sure the kick plate is behind the rubber mat like we had originally. And okay, everything looks good to go. We're ready to drill the hole. I had already checked to make sure there's nothing behind here that could cause any damage, any wires, things that we talked about before. Okay. All right. Now that we got that hole drilled, we can go ahead and get our rivet in. Then we can move on to drilling the rest of the holes. So again, go ahead and start off by putting the rivet in, the rivet gun on there. Make sure everything's tight. Go ahead. One more. There we go. Great. All right, that will have the kick plate solidly in place. Just like I said, go ahead, drill the rest of your holes. And again, please make sure there's nothing behind these. Double check, triple check, whatever you have to do. We don't want you to cause any damage to your cart. Two more. Now we can go ahead and get the rivets installed. That wraps up the install of the kick plate, part number ACC-2001 on this E-Z-Go TXT golf cart. Thank you for joining me today at Rock's Garage. Enjoy safely.